The play, Oedipus the King by Sophocles, takes place in Thebes, an ancient Greek city. Thebes is facing a terrible plague, crops are failing, and people are dying. The citizens are desperate and turn to their king, Oedipus, for help. Oedipus is known for his intelligence and courage. He had previously saved the city by solving the riddle of the Sphinx. Now, faced with this new crisis, Oedipus seeks guidance from the Oracle of Delphi. The Oracle is a sacred priestess who communicates the words of the god Apollo. Oedipus sends his brother-in-law Creon to Delphi to consult the Oracle. Creon returns with a chilling message. The Oracle reveals that the plague will only end when the murderer of the previous king Laius is found and punished. The news from the Oracle plunges Oedipus into a quest for truth and justice. Determined to save his city once more, he vows to find Laius's murderer. He does not know that he is walking into a carefully woven trap of fate. Oedipus begins his investigation by summoning Tiresias, a blind prophet renowned for his wisdom and insight. Tiresias is reluctant to speak, sensing the terrible truth. Oedipus, however, presses him for answers, unaware that the knowledge he seeks will lead to his own downfall. The confrontation between Oedipus and Tiresias is full of tension. Tiresias hints at the truth, but Oedipus, blinded by his arrogance, misinterprets his words. The prophet, bound by the gods, cannot reveal everything directly. He can only guide Oedipus toward the truth. Driven by a desire to uncover the truth and lift the curse on Thebes, Oedipus embarks on a relentless pursuit of Laius's murderer. Ironically, he curses the murderer, unaware that he is cursing himself. His unwavering determination sets the stage for a tragic collision with destiny. Oedipus questions everyone who might have information about Laius's death. He interrogates Jocasta, his wife, and queen. He summons shepherds who witnessed the king's murder. Each piece of information Oedipus uncovers pushes him closer to the truth, but he remains oblivious. As Oedipus relentlessly pursues the truth, he begins to suspect Creon of treachery. Oedipus believes Creon wants the throne for himself. This suspicion further blinds Oedipus to the truth and fuels the tragic events that unfold. The growing tension between Oedipus and Creon leads to a public confrontation. Oedipus, consumed by suspicion, accuses Creon of conspiring against him. Creon, innocent and shocked by the accusation, defends himself vehemently. The clash between the two men highlights the destructive power of unfounded suspicion. Jocasta, desperate to restore peace and calm her husband's rage, intervenes in the conflict. In a fateful attempt to reassure Oedipus, she unintentionally reveals a crucial detail. She mentions a prophecy about her own son and a crossroads where three roads meet. Jocasta's words strike a chord of recognition in Oedipus's mind. The details she reveals about Laius's murder echo a dark secret from his past, a secret he has long suppressed. The truth begins to unravel, and Oedipus starts to confront the horrifying possibility of his own guilt. Section 5. The Weight of Truth. Oedipus confronts his past. Haunted by Jocasta's revelation, Oedipus is forced to confront the darkest corners of his past. Memories resurface, and he recalls an encounter at a crossroads where he killed a man in a fit of rage. The pieces of the puzzle fall into place, revealing the horrifying truth about his origins. A messenger arrives from Corinth, Oedipus's supposed birthplace, with news of his father's death. Ironically, the messenger intends to relieve Oedipus's fears about fulfilling the prophecy he heard as a young man. Instead, the messenger's words only confirm Oedipus's worst nightmare. The messenger reveals that Oedipus was not the biological son of the king of Corinth. He was a foundling, discovered abandoned in the mountains with his ankles pinned together. This revelation shatters Oedipus's world, forcing him to confront the undeniable truth. He is the son of Laius and the murderer of his own father. Section 6. The Price of Truth. Jocasta's despair. Oedipus's agony. As the weight of his actions crushes Oedipus, Jocasta is overcome with despair. She had already glimpsed the horrifying truth and tried to protect Oedipus from it. Now she sees her efforts crumble as her husband and son is consumed by the very fate she desperately tried to help him escape. Unable to bear the weight of her grief and guilt, Jocasta takes her own life. She hangs herself in the palace, a final act of despair. Her suicide, a consequence of the revealed truth, deepens the tragedy that has befallen the royal family. Oedipus, upon discovering Jocasta's body, is driven to an act of self-mutilation. He uses the pins from Jocasta's dress to blind himself, unable to bear the sight of the ruin he has brought upon himself and those he loves. His blinding symbolizes the painful realization of his ignorance and the terrible consequences of his actions. Section 7. Fate or free will? The enduring question. At the heart of Oedipus, the king, lies the timeless debate between fate and free will. Was Oedipus a puppet in the hands of destiny, or was he responsible for his own tragic downfall? Sophocles does not provide easy answers, leaving the audience to grapple with this profound question. Oedipus's fate was sealed before his birth by the prophecy given to his parents. He tries to outrun his destiny, but every step he takes only leads him closer to fulfilling the prophecy. His relentless pursuit of truth, fueled by his own free will, ironically becomes the very path to his destruction. The play suggests that both fate and free will are intertwined in shaping human destiny. Oedipus makes choices throughout the play, but these choices are often driven by ignorance or anger, ultimately leading him toward his predetermined fate. Section 8. Sight and blindness, a paradox explored. The theme of sight and blindness runs throughout the play, operating on both literal and metaphorical levels. Tiresias, the blind prophet, possesses true sight, seeing beyond the physical realm into the depths of truth. Oedipus, on the other hand, starts the play as a revered king with physical sight but is blind to his true identity and actions. Oedipus's blinding of himself at the end of the play is symbolic of his newfound understanding. By physically blinding himself, he gains a deeper, more profound insight into himself and the nature of his tragic fate. He finally sees the truth, but this realization comes at a terrible cost. Sophocles uses the motif of sight and blindness to highlight the limitations of human perception. He suggests that true knowledge and understanding often come from looking inward and confronting uncomfortable truths. Section 9. The human condition, truth, hubris, and suffering. Oedipus. The King is a profound exploration of the human condition. It grapples with universal themes of truth, hubris, and suffering. Oedipus's relentless pursuit of truth, while admirable, is ultimately his undoing. His hubris or excessive pride blinds him to the truth and leads him to commit acts that will haunt him forever. The play reminds us that the search for truth can be a double-edged sword. While knowledge is powerful, it can also be painful and destructive. Oedipus's journey shows that sometimes ignorance is bliss, and the truth can come at a terrible price. Oedipus the King is not just a story about one man's downfall, but a reflection on the human condition itself. It reminds us that we are all capable of great and terrible things, and that our choices, often made in ignorance, can have profound and lasting consequences. Section 10. The enduring legacy, Oedipus across time. Oedipus the King is widely regarded as one of the greatest tragedies ever written. Its themes of fate, free will, and the human condition continue to resonate with audiences centuries after it was first performed. The play has had a profound influence on Western literature, art, and psychology. The Oedipus complex, a term coined by Sigmund Freud, draws inspiration from the play. It describes a child's unconscious sexual desire for their opposite-sex parent and rivalry with their same-sex parent. While not a direct interpretation of the play, the Oedipus complex reflects the enduring power of Sophocles' exploration of family dynamics and the complexities of human desire. From literature to film to psychoanalysis, the legacy of Oedipus the King is undeniable. Its themes continue to be explored and reinterpreted, ensuring that this timeless tragedy remains relevant to contemporary audiences. Section 11. Conclusion, a timeless tragedy. Oedipus the King is a timeless tragedy that explores the depths of human experience. Through the story of Oedipus, Sophocles confronts us with uncomfortable truths about fate, free will, and the human condition. The play reminds us that even the most intelligent and well-intentioned individuals can fall victim to their own flaws and the inescapable hand of destiny. Despite its bleak outlook, Oedipus the King offers a glimmer of hope. Oedipus's tragic journey serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us of the importance of self-reflection, humility, and accepting responsibility for our actions. By confronting the darkness within ourselves, we can strive to break free from the cycles of fate and forge our own paths, even in the face of adversity.